Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your Monday to Friday quick update for Bitcoin and XRP. Before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to give you 16 years experience, 11 of which as a chartered market technician, Monday to Friday for free on Bitcoin and XRP, and I've trained Jack Frost for the last couple of years. Wednesday to Saturday, he's going to give you Ethereum and Solana for free. I'm going to give you technicals for Bitcoin, and I'm going to give you Elliott Wave and technicals for XRP. If you want Elliott Wave for Bitcoin, you can subscribe to that. It's on our website. Bitcoin remains within a consolidation. It's a rectangle pattern. These patterns are plagued by numerous false breakouts. There was a first false downward breakout here, another false downward breakout here. Price is currently well within this rectangle pattern. I've added a slightly downward sloping channel from the all-time high on the 14th of March to sit across this high here on the 5th of June. Price is really close to that trend line. There's developing a little bit of a bearish upper wick on the current session, July 29. If we see a red candlestick for tomorrow's session, we may have a short-term end to an upward swing. We may be seeing a little pullback, but assume the short-term trend upward remains the same until proven otherwise. Expect it's most likely price is going to continue higher to resistance. In the first instance, maybe this pink trend line here, or resistance 71,500 to 73,100. The longer this price remains within the rectangle, the closer we are getting to a breakout. Price will break out eventually. Odds are it's most likely to break out upward, but if we see a downward breakout, that's also possible. A breakout upward would be a close above 73,100, and because these patterns are plagued by numerous false breakouts, I want to see if the following, after a close above that point, 2 green daily candlesticks up and away before I have confidence in the upward breakout, and we can rule out a false breakout. Likewise, to the downside, we need to see a break below support now at 55,000, or possibly the low of this candlestick, 8th of July, at 54,300. Price needs to close below that, the lower edge of the rectangle, and then 2 red daily candlesticks moving down and away to filter out a false downward breakout. We use that methodology here. Price quickly returned back into the rectangle. We used that methodology here on the 7th of July when price closed below price support of the rectangle, and it quickly returned back within it in the next 2 days. So that 2 or 3 day away rule is a really good one to filter out false breakouts. For now, let's expect this upward swing is probably going to continue to resistance, and we're very, very close potentially to the end of the upward swing. Let's see how price behaves this week. We could possibly get an upward breakout, but I think what's more likely is we're going to get a bit of a pullback before price is able to break out on its next attempt. The last 2 sessions for the 27th and the 28th is a weekend, so we can't draw too much of a conclusion about that, but what we can say is this upward swing initially had push from volume, and as price moves higher toward the high of today's session, there is now a little bit of a decline in volume. So there's starting to be a little bit of a weakness, which tells me again to expect we're probably going to get a pullback sooner rather than later. Now price is so close to resistance. On balance, volume is developing a new range, but it has really weak technical significance. This resistance line has a strong upward slope, and this resistance line has a strong downward slope. They've both only got 2 tests, the minimum you need to draw a line. So they've got very weak technical significance. Likewise, the downward line has a reasonable slope and only the minimum required 2 anchor points you need to draw a line. A break above resistance or below support would be a signal, but it would be very, very weak. No signal at this stage. ADX is declining at the daily time frame for Bitcoin today, telling us there's no clear trend. The DX lines have started to do a little bit of whipsawing after the previous downward swing to support reached a downward trend at this time frame, which reached extreme, but not very extreme. With no clear trend and volume declining and ATR overall declining as price moves weekly higher, that adds to the view that we're probably going to get a bit of a pullback here or pretty soon as price is so close to resistance. Stochastics is back and overbought. Price is very, very close to resistance. Look out for the potential for a pullback for, I don't know, a few days, a week or so. Let's see how this one unfolds. I expect price may get just a little bit higher to resistance first, and then let's look for a pullback. So I want to see a bearish candlestick reversal pattern, or at least a strong bearish upper wick, and then I'll expect that a pullback has begun. But for now, a tiny bit more upward movement closer to resistance is most likely. For the very short term, the Elliott Wave count for XRP from this low to this high, there is a really clear looking 5-wave step forward pattern that should be followed by 3 steps back. Sideways movement of the last several days looks like potentially a triangle, could be a little B wave within a zigzag. The most common structure for a second wave correction is a zigzag. They are labelled A, B, C, and they subdivide 5, 3, 5. A triangle is actually 5 subwaves, but it's classified as a 3. It's a corrective structure. Let's see how this one unfolds. This triangle could morph into a flat or a combination. So far, I'm going to label it as a triangle. I'll expect a little bit more sideways movement. We need to complete D and then E of the triangle, and then a 5-wave structure down for C. Maybe about even in length with A, may find support at this trend line, but if price closes below support at 55 cents, then next support would be about 46 cents just above. There's where the log function of the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio sits at 0.4659. 2 may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.3838. Technicals for XRP, a little bit of sideways movement. I've altered my resistance and support. There's resistance now at 62 cents, support here at 57 cents. If we break above 62 cents, look for next resistance at 0.675 and then 0.82. If it breaks below support at 57 cents, look for really strong support at 55 cents. The strong support at 55 cents makes me think that the Elliott Wave count may not see the log function of the 0.618 ratio, that 46 cents. It may find support at the lower edge of that little Elliott channel I've got on that chart. Price is moving sideways, volume is declining, very typical for a consolidation, absolutely normal to be expected behaviour for an Elliott Wave triangle as well. ADX is still increasing, telling us there's an upward trend for the short term. RSI is neutral, so there's still a way to go before the trend reaches extreme and the conditions reach overbought. Likewise, money flow is neutral. Price is moving sideways. ATR initially showed some increase, now starting to show a little bit of a decline. That's normal as price moves sideways. And that's it for me today with a very quick update for you. I hope you all had a lovely weekend.